Yeah, I just keep it steady on the magic. Do my thing, I'm healing, it's fantastic. If I fall, rise automatic. You ain't no now, you know. I'm the one rain myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off, take off, take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl rising, way to the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout take off. Ooh, she bout.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Hannah aka Ruta, and you are watching the Uprooted Network. Yo, welcome back to Black Women Wednesday. I'm so excited today to have my girl Weyni joining. Y'all, she is the truth. I'm inspired by her, and I know y'all will be inspired by her, so I'm so excited to have her coming on today. And y'all, do you see what I'm wearing today? Do you see the merch? Peep the merch. Who you think that is? Which one am I guess? I want to see who knows. If you didn't already see, it's the Up and Up. I'm really out here trying to teach y'all rep who you kick it with, okay? Support your friends' hustle, support they grind, okay? Make sure you out here supporting your people. So you already know we got the Up and Up merch, the latest drop. If you didn't get yours, go get yours now. My guy Binyam out there, he's been on the show. If you haven't watched the past episode of Black Men Speak Sundays, and yeah, you know, I'm trying to tell y'all, if you gonna know me for anything, y'all gonna know me for support your friends, okay? Oh, you said come on skins. Y'all see me, okay? I'm out here glowing, okay? I see you, Weyni. I'm so excited. Okay, Khalif said he got the same color. You feel me? That royal blue. You already know what time it is. Hi,
Hi.
girl. Your fro is everything.
I know.
Oh
So
my
proud.
God. If only I could get mine to behave like.
It really does behave. That's the right term to use for my hair. It behaves. It knows
Yeah.
how to just stay crowned. Just like that. Just stay. No problem.
I'm so in awe. First of all, you are gorgeous. Hello. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
thank you. I know the light is not serving me right now, but I am pretty good looking. But thank you.
I love it. You feel me? Sis said, I know I'm cute. Okay. Like, I be trying to tell people too, sis, because you know I be coming on sometimes with my robe and my scarf situation, and people be like, "You're so crazy." I said, "Why? I know what I look like.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I look like, okay?"
Honestly, that's a really good confidence to have because just recently I'm pretty open canvas, so I'm just gonna spill it out. I ran out of
Yeah.
makeup and I was just like um I just kind of like put on whatever, and my husband was like, "You're so pretty without makeup. Why you gotta put on makeup when you actually don't have none? Like just be yourself, you know?" So
Yes,
here I hear you.
I love that. Okay, I stand. I'm here for this, y'all. Listen, Weyni, I gotta say thank you so much first and foremost because I've had to reschedule this like twice.
Yeah,
This whole traveling while working thing is still a lot.
I
But
know.
I think I got it now.
You
I'm
nailed it.
excited
Yeah.
because I'm like, ooh, child, the way the hotel lobby, the room, the this, I will just duck anywhere and people will be like, "What you doing?" I gotta do my podcast. Like I will really find
Work
any
is here.
quiet place wherever
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
And then I realized, girl, you could take a break. You don't have to do it while you're on the road and
I
anyways.
hear
So
you. Yeah. No, you did the right thing. It's definitely good to take a break from work. Sometimes we're so caught up in like just like the continuous, like constant routines and having to live up to our goals and expectations. It is good, but when you need to take a break, you need to take a break. I'm just really happy that we could be here today. So yeah.
yes, I'm excited. So before we get too into it, because I always get too comfortable. I'll be forgetting I gotta introduce you guys. So Weyni and I connected on Clubhouse. She has been doing great advocacy in there, but also just like through conversation realized we had a lot in common. And then also you shared with me like your passion for real estate. And so I had Caleb on this week who also does like investments in real estate, but like overall investments, which you also do. So this week is really like we trying to inspire people, get your money right, get growth mindset. We trying to put people on, and I thought I really wanted both of you guys in the same week. So I'm glad it was able to like work itself out that it still happened that way. But for those who don't know you, could you just give them like a little intro of like who you are and kind of like what you do?
That's okay. So I usually never know where to start because I mean my life has been all over. It's a good thing. But let me just start by saying my name is Weyni, and of course I grew up in Tigray. I'm particularly from Irob, a small minority in Irob. I mean, a small minority in Tigray, basically a minority within a minority. We're about like 40 to 60K thousand people. And there was I left that part of Ethiopia during the Eritrean-Ethiopian war in the early 2000s that affected me and my family directly. And I lived in different parts of the world, but mostly as a refugee really in Uganda. Most of my I guess young childhood was really like spent there. And eventually got to Canada because my uncle lives here. And the reason I'm bringing that piece in is, even though I really don't like to talk so much about that, is because right now, of course, there is the like cycle being repeated right now in Tigray, the current genocidal war. So that's why I'm bringing that piece in. But really, most of my passion is besides advocacy. Generally it is advocacy, but it's mostly financial freedom, generational wealth, and I've always been an advocate, of course, for human rights and for just like gender equality and so on and forth. I did study international development and conflict resolution. That is my background, but I do like to just kind of find different like passion in different areas, especially in like like real estate, just things that generate wealth and things that like kind of empower you as an individual, like give you kind of like a like a presence in a community, in within your household and so on and forth. So that's kind of what I focus on. So that's me a little bit in a nutshell.
Girl, bye. She said that's me in a nutshell. No, sis, you said a whole lot of things just there. Okay, like it's your whole uprooted journey. So for people for context, right? When you say the Eritrean-Ethiopian war and you being from Irob, like people who don't understand that contextually on the map, you're on the border.
Yeah.
So literally you're living in the actual war zone, which is like why you would need to relocate, and to flee. And so that's not easy. And for this cycle to repeat, I think our advocacy started there and it continues there. And so I don't want us to like skip that part of your journey, but I think the resiliency for you to do that travel and be like, no, I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to thrive anyways. And I'm going to like really focus on how do I grow? And then you also have the sweetest little girl. And you just had another baby this year, right?
I did.
You're a mommy too. So you're out here doing the damn thing. And I see you, I love your posts all the time because you're like, I'm trying to teach my daughter to like be limitless and have whatever she wants. And I'm always like, that's just so cute. Like, I love it. And I love watching that. So could you tell us a little bit about how did you even understand or start to think about generational wealth? Because that, I don't think we're all thinking that at like our younger age, you know what I mean? So what was that journey like?
I think it just kind of goes back to a little bit of what you said. Well, what I guess to just kind of go back a little bit, when you've been kind of stripped out of like things that that is extremely essential to you, which is your family, your, your community, the only place that you've really truly known as to be your home. And then you kind of like keep moving, and of course different identities are given to you. And this is really interesting because I remember when I was like, for example, I'm from a very small village in Irob. It's called Magauma. Nobody will know about this, but I'm just gonna put it out there.
No, girl, somebody might find you. You don't know. We be finding family members. We find family members online all the time. So shout it out, sis.
Clubhouse has gotten me so many families. That's another conversation. Anyway, so like, when I went from a small village in Magauma to a bigger so-called town in Alitena, I would just be like that girl from Magauma. I mean, and then then of course I moved to like Adigrat, which is like the closest city. Really, it's kind of the capital city for Irob. And when you go there, you're like, oh, she's just Irob, whatever, and a whole different identity is given to you. And then of course later I moved to Addis Ababa a little bit, and she's like, oh, Tigray, there's a whole different thing. And of course,
just
with
like
that
a
identity,
minimalization.
Exactly. And with every identity that you're given, you're also, there's different conditions and different levels that kind of comes with that. And of course I moved to Uganda as a refugee, and even there I was like an Ethiopian, and at that point I even became a Mzungu, which is like a white person. It got completely off. And then of course when I moved to Canada, people just kind of like, oh, a black person. So then you embody this like black identity. And so I at that point, at a very early stage in my life, I learned that our identities are very much shaped by our environment. We're really like trying to kind of like see ourselves through other eyes and through other people. And even with that kind of comes like, certain conditions, like when you're, a black immigrant in Canada, you kind of belong into a certain socioeconomic class, you're more likely to have certain, political, whatever, like understandings and so on and forth. And I always kind of like, what, I'm not going to fit into any of these stereotypes. None of you guys know me. So
that part.
I just kind of like so
that hit me in the chest. That hit me in the chest. I said, let them know. Say it again for the people in the back, okay?
None of you guys know me, all right? Like honestly, no, like an identity is such a construct, and we work so hard to like play or fit into that stereotypes or that preconditioning that exists. So and of course real estate, that's just something that kind of came to me gradually, because my uncle, who did bring me to this country and is a father figure to me, is in it. So I always say real estate found me. I didn't really find it. It's just kind of like one of those things, God had kind of put there and be like, hey, you should know more about this industry. It seems interesting. I've seen few people do good in it. And I'm like, literally the foundation of it is that I'm capable of doing it. And let's do some research here and there. And then let's start saving. And of course, I have a very supportive husband who is also into that kind of, like, he's actually in finances. And so that's kind of how we got into it. Yeah.
Oh, so you said you're the dream team.
We are straight on the dream too. Yeah, 100%.
I love it. She said, yeah. What you mean? Was that clear? It should have been clear by what I just said. No, I love that. That's amazing. That's dope. There's a couple things I want to unpack, right? Like this idea that your identity is socially constructed and that's dependent on your environment. Because the other side of that is, with each identity comes new limiting beliefs of like what you cannot do because you are this, right?
Great. Yes. Yeah.
So you had to break out of that like over and over and over and over again. At some point you was like, all right, what else y'all got for me, right?
Like honestly, like at some point you just gotta say, I guess this is how Homo sapiens behave. All right, let's move on. Like something like that, like something just general that like, okay, this is it. Like, okay, what can I do really? At this point, I just kind of leave it to people's like subconscious, like if this is how you perceive me and the package that you've given or whatever, it's on you, not on me. And I try to find my way. And speaking of being conditioned, we're really easily programmable. That's actually like a downside to us. I think we're just more like I don't know. I feel like this might be a little bit of my understanding, but we're just so easily manipulated. We're so easily programmable, which is why I have to be very, very cautious about how I raise my child, because sometimes we pass
Speak
on
on
those
it.
limiting beliefs on our kids. We cripple them because we are crippled ourselves, and we have so much fear and anxieties and limiting beliefs that we carry on, and of course we must like hand it over like it's a crown of some sort, right? So definitely, yeah, we
You
gotta
know
be.
what?
Hmm.
I learned something about this from, there's a psychologist. She's actually out of the UK, I think. Her name is Marissa Peer. I forget the spelling. I think it's Peer, something like that.
Yeah.
But she was talking about this concept that with everything always boils down to that feeling of not being enough.
Oh yeah.
So when you have like multiple layers of identities, you can never be enough of one. Because if you're not, like, especially for us, right, as Black women, right, like, you're never woman enough because they want to make you a masculine, aggressive, like, angry Black woman, and then you're not smart enough, so you have to prove that, and then when you're too smart, now you're better than your male counterparts, and your like, it there's always something that you can never just be enough of one identity, and that's not possible when they gave you 20. How the hell are you supposed to balance 20 different identities? Because depending on who sees you is what they believe. And so something that you said too is like what they subconsciously believe about you goes back to that old quote of like, what other people think of you is none of your business. Like,
Exactly. It's none of your business, and you know, like in places like in like real estate right now, I'm just kind of, especially the like one of the things I'm doing, as you know, is just getting my licenses. So in that industry, it's very male driven. So far, I've just kind of been in it as an investor. When I say an investor, we're at very early stages where like we make lots of sacrifices, live in like some shitty neighborhoods to save up, and like it's nothing too like fabulous, but it really is something. And above all, you know, when you have a goal, you're just confident about it. So no worries there. That being said, my point is, real estate is highly like white male dominated industry. And so when people make, especially, you know, those men make perceptions about me that hasn't really been that negative, but if it was to come, I'm just like, well, that is just lack of your either IQ or like some sort of like lack of experience with people like myself, but more likely it's just lack of ignorance. It's more like ignorance, so it got nothing on me, and you just kind of move on, right? What can you do? But yeah, I don't know if I'm answering anything, but
no,
yeah.
I'm with you, because it's just the idea of the attitude you have to have, the confidence you have to walk in when you know you're walking into places that are literally not built for you.
The best
Like,
thing I think you could say about people judging you is that everybody is judging you from experiences that they've had, from the way they're conditioned, and from either lack of information or from, you know, access of information that they've had. It's from whatever pedestal that they're standing or sitting on. And so it's not really a reflection of you. And you know what? If somebody truly knows you, then you're also not growing, because like I have had so many personalities in my life. Like people that knew me in high
okay, talk
school
about it.
would never recognize me right now, because I have adapted what you had called earlier growth mindset, where I truly understood the power of my mind, which is we do have neuroplasticity. Like that's part of, like, we're basically very elastic. Our mind is very capable of learning new
I love
information.
science words. I love that word. You know, that's my major, my field. So I'm like, yes, talk about it.
Yeah, so you know, we're very capable beings. That means we do have to learn, we do have to evolve. That's actually who we are really as humans. We constantly must evolve, otherwise our cells start dying and we start decaying, and we only know what we've learned, and that's basically becomes the only thing that we're familiar and comfortable with. So
That's
Yeah.
true. So basically, we got Drake to blame for this no new whatever, no new friends, no this, all that BS the music industry talk about. No, listen, I want y'all to go listen to Jay-Z. Okay, Jay-Z talking about you supposed to elevate. Okay,
Yeah.
like you supposed to elevate. I saw a
Hmm.
meme the other day, and or like not a meme, but one of those quote posts, and it was like, the thing that scares me the most is being in the same place next year.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just like you only feel like that when you understand your ability to grow is actually just an innate thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how we're born. Like what I'm lucky I get to be a parent, so I get to witness that. My daughter's at that stage now where she's like, Mommy, I gotta do this myself. I got this. All right, I got
Okay,
it. So
she
she's
better
like,
say that.
oh my
Listen,
gosh,
I was
she
that little girl, so I'm always gonna cheerlead the
good.
leader. Like, go ahead, sis, you got it. Okay, you got it. Go ahead.
Exactly. And you gotta let that growth happen naturally for them because that's who we are. We grow, we evolve, and if we don't, the opposite happens to us, right? We slowly start
Hmm.
dying, and I am not about to happen, not let that to happen to me. So,
Yes.
um, so that's basically, I'm in the housing business, so with a to have a solid house, you
Hmm.
must have a really good foundation, right?
Okay, you about to take them to church? Tell them.
I
I
love
felt
you.
it coming. I felt it coming.
We are the foundation. If
Hmm.
you do not have the confidence in yourself,
Hmm.
you know, the understanding that you are capable, that God has created you with all abilities, and above all, you
Hmm.
are a learner. You can learn anything, but beyond anything, it's the confidence. You must do whatever it takes to have that initial foundation, which is confidence, and that's some work you got to do, bruh. I'm speaking to you, and I still have, like every girl, like I still got a lot to do, but at least I know that everything will break down until I establish a very, very like confident, like solid, stable foundation, which
Yes.
is working on myself.
Yes, and that part you actually talked about this a little bit earlier. You kind of like glossed over it, but I want to talk about this in terms of your real estate investing, right?
Mhm.
Because you said something, and then Caleb said this on Sunday as well, that you have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a shorter period of time, a temporary discomfort, so that you can invest into your future, right? So living but below your means, like you were saying, living in a and not a and they're not the nicest, right? Like you, it's safe enough, but it's not what you want, right?
Mm-mm.
Just so that you can save and actually invest in property. So
Mm-hmm.
can you break that down a little bit in terms of what an investment property could do for you, right? And like why that's so important for people to start thinking about now, and not just spending your money or just having it sitting in a savings account, but actually using your money to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
grow itself, right?
Yeah. So I think like it's important to kind of understand asset classes, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
which kind of like increases in value as time goes by. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
good thing to understand. Right now in my world, from my understanding, and by any means I'm not an expert on this, real estate and like a different asset class that a lot of people don't think about is like crypto. That's a growing asset class. It adds in value, like as we
Mm-hmm.
we just kind of make it like as we wait, basically time
Yeah.
is giving you more money, which in most cases in other asset classes not so common. Now in real estate, like I guess just kind of like reflecting back on like early stages, I was just an average student. Both me and my husband were just average students, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of debt, like so the first thing I would like student debt. When I say debt, I'm talking about student debt, like an
Yes.
average. I live in Canada, an average Canadian, I believe, graduates with about 38,000 or so in debt, and that I wasn't that average, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
got to first start paying off your debt. I do think education debt is not a bad debt, if you know what kind of career
Yeah,
that
that's
is.
good debt.
yeah, you have to understand like which career is marketable. You do have to understand which field is marketable in order to kind of, you know, get the most out of your debt. But in my case, I was, you know, I mean, it's not the most marketable thing. But anyways, my point being, you do have to pay off whatever debt you have, whether that's a credit card debt, whether that's any sort of personal debt. Get rid of those, you know. And then slowly, while you do that, of course, you do have to minimize your cost of living. I think about, what is it, like more than like 50% of our income kind of goes into our life, like you know, household
Lifestyle.
exactly, and that's way too high. So kind of determine, okay, how much can I really save?
I hope
And I
they're
think
taking notes, because you are dropping gems. Cece said, take notes, y'all. So you said under 50, you want to 50% of our income goes to lifestyle. You said we want to save how much?
you definitely want to save about 20% of your you know, gross income or net income, I should say, is probably where I would kind of lean on. 20%, save that, you know, like that basically means your living cost is gonna be a bit limited. That means you might have to make some sacrifices. That might be living in undesirable neighborhood, for example. That was kind of the route we took. And before we actually bought a home that we could live in, we first bought an investment property in like some not sketchy neighborhood, but that added value as you know, as we waited, as we kind of like tried to arrange our lives here and there, paid our student loan and everything here and there. So when you buy your first home, it's really, a lot of people think it's an asset, but it's not, because it's taking money out of your pocket. You're paying for property taxes, you're paying for this, you're paying for that. But if you buy a rental property while you're living cheap, your expenses are not that high. You found, like, you know, like a good rental place for yourself in a somewhat safe but not desirable neighborhood. And this is not for everybody. It's just I'm sharing what worked for us. And after that, you know, you save a little while you kind of get that little money from your rental, and probably you're not gonna make much money, but at least that rental can kind of sustain itself as the value goes up. And always buy in up and coming neighborhood, because the value of your property just goes up, right?
Yeah. So wherever you see people start to gentrify, that's where you got to be too. You got to be part of the gentrifying movement. Otherwise, you are completely blocked out.
Exactly. You actually won't have access to the market unless you kind of go into that. And that was our advantage. We went into the market that was willing to take us, you know. I can't go into like some fancy neighborhood. I'm just, you know, like an immigrant. There's other things, got student loans and so on and forth. So I would say real estate is good. And after that, of course, we bought duplex. I think duplexes are great because you live in one side and the other side kind of pays for it, and whatever income comes, you could either invest or you could you know, you can save for the next property, which is actually your official home. That's the first, like, it, you know, I think from what I've seen, like, you know how people say like house hacks or whatever. That's one of the things. I think that's one way of going about it. I'm not saying it's the only way, but it's one way of going
it's a
about
feasible
it.
way.
Exactly. And of course, real estate, it's generational wealth. It's your land. I mean, if you live in North America and almost in any, even the United, like if you see how land value went up overnight, that's a little bit crazy market there. But I would say this is a very simple formula. I'm not a math person. God has only made like this is it. The land that God made is all we got, but the population keeps going, and of course the demand, the value of the land keeps increasing. So it's just an easy way of going into generational wealth, and that's what I think.
It's one of the industries that just can't die. Like it'll keep transforming. It'll transform over and over and over again. But like what you just said is exactly the gem that I was hoping you would say, is like it's a finite resource. Like land is literally a finite resource. And when you think about who owns most of the land, it's not the everyday person.
No.
It is not. So we are always at the hands of our quote unquote leaders. Some of them we don't like, as we can see. And that puts us in horrible position. So by those of us in the diaspora actually understanding and taking ownership, instead of just constantly renting and thinking you're saving, no, you might be saving in the short term, but you are shortchanging yourself, because your long-term goals and your long-term wealth could be so much higher, like so much higher. Actually, another life hack, you can take out an equity loan on your home, and you can use that to also start another business and or purchase another property.
Definitely. I think that's the one thing that's really an important hack. Of course, people know this, but sometimes they don't unless you're actually in it. And the fact that you can literally take a loan on your home. First of all, I don't know where, but like in Canada, bank money is cheap. Like banks are willing to give you money. So I'm literally using the bank's money to make me more money. I'll go for that anytime.
Any day.
Any day. But of course, it has to be a calculated move, and it has to be in sectors where it's stable, and real estate is stable in most cases. Yeah.
And that's the conversation, because I'm lucky enough to have like a dad and uncles that are entrepreneurs. And so as I started this journey, they all were like, no, Rutia, you have to buy a house first. You need to, you know, and they were very adamant about it. So they've been pushing that narrative. And not that I'm against it. I'm just like, so y'all paying for it? I'm confused. Like, I'm supposed to magically do this? So I love it. My family plans my life like I'm sure every other Habesha person in this world. You know, they plan the hell out of our lives. But this was advice that was actually good, that made sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, that actually makes a lot of sense. Also, you know, I work from home. I'm working virtually. So I don't have to pay for an office if I'm already going to pay for a house. Like, I might as well use my mortgage instead of that.
Actually, that's one of the things that attracted me about like being certified in real estate is like, oh, wait, I can have an office from home. That's really attractive to me because I do love working virtually. I think it's the future of work, really. And if you do have your own space, and you can utilize it and however makes sense to you. So definitely that's one good advantage of having your own home. You can use that mortgage to like literally have your office, and of course you can always like write it as tax credit or whatever. So
well, you know, I'm about to use the hell out of that tax credit. Like, no, sir.
I did buy that new table and everything.
Get them office supplies too. I needed the TV because I needed a bigger screen. Like, you just start making shit. Making shit
of course.
Up. What you mean?
Big TVs are better for your eyes. Whatever.
Like, I take clients. I have a studio. What do you mean? Like, you can literally finesse it. And that's what people don't understand. A lot of these people who start in corporate, right, will go off once they have a good enough network of people that they've met, and they'll start their own consulting or their own private business, right? And they don't need to make as much money as the corporation. They just need a solid 10 clients a year. You know what I mean? That's way more manageable, and they can work from home. You know,
that like, freedom, like that freedom that you get from, I mean, I think entrepreneurship, it's good for people to know self-employment and entrepreneurship. Real estate, when you go into the, you know, selling home side of things, you're actually self-employed because your physical presence is required. I am more into entrepreneurship. I mean, at the beginning you got to do it both, but with entrepreneurship, you know, sometimes your money is kind of working for you while you're sleeping. It's the best thing you can do. And of course, you know, those advantages you got to understand. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but I just don't know how working 9 to 5 for a grumpy boss is for everybody either. And some of us just don't do that well in that industry. I was a career coach for 3 years, and I've seen uh the job market, and it's not that pretty. It's really not that attractive. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a creator's market right now. Um,
I agree. Yeah.
for sure, because
Hmm.
what the pandemic showed everybody, it
Yeah.
exposed all the lies that these corporations have been telling people.
Hmm.
Um, so it's been the year of people really like understanding their creativity, their money
Hmm.
making ability,
Hmm.
they're like, that they can have the flexible lifestyle that they want. They don't
Yeah.
actually have to do like the structure that's given to them.
Yeah.
Before you, I was on the phone with my cousin. She over there, she's talking about I'm in Paris. I said, of course you are. Like, like it's really a thing. And later
Yeah.
this month, hopefully I'll talk some more about just the nomad lifestyle too for the generation, because
Yeah.
we're if our parents and generation, what do they call them? Generate
Uh,
X? What? The baby
Generation
boomers?
Gen.
There you
Oh, baby
go. The
boomers.
baby
Okay, I
boomers.
know.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
it's the people above us. I be forgetting the order. Um, they were the generation of, they start at somewhere, they stay there for 40 years, they
Yeah.
retire, whatever. They have like a very stable basic
They've
life,
had
right?
it. I think that's
Yeah.
the generation that really like, yeah, they had all
Yeah.
the privileges. Now I think 80% of, sorry, like 40-year-olds
Hmm.
only get to enjoy, that's 40-year-olds, we're like maybe in our 30s or whatever. 40-year-olds only get to enjoy 80% of what baby boomers enjoyed. And
Hmm.
our generation probably doesn't even get like 60% of that. And it's
Hmm.
really, it has become that thing where home ownership is not accessible. Like even, as a new
Yeah.
home buyers, it's very difficult because you're kind of like drowning on your student loan and so on and forth.
Hmm.
Rent is extremely high. Just lifestyle is really high. You can't really plan a family, a wedding, all of that is extremely inaccessible to like millennials right now. Millennials are having it hard. Whether that's like a white person or non, whatever, like just a millennial category is not. And I a bit much worry about Generation Gen as well, but they're more creative and they can utilize like social media and the
Yeah.
gig economy or whatever it is. But
Oh,
going
yes, they
back
love
to,
themselves a good gig.
I need to get into that. I need to
Yeah, I'm
understand.
trying to have more patience for it. You have to do something in your spare time. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like,
Mhm.
the way that our generation is, the millennials, or like right under us is Y or whatever, whoever's under us.
Yeah,
Um, no shade, because I do have younger people that watch this, but we were the ones who, like, we suffered because they had the Great Depression. So we had the
right.
parents that were extra strict, extra
Hmm.
like safe, wanted stability and
Oh yeah.
structure, and like,
Hmm.
and then we were the rebels. Like Drake came out and said YOLO, and so all of us said
YOLO.
YOLO. We were just like,
YOLO.
this is all a scam anyways. And so we have been really just experimenting. We've been
Yeah,
experimenting a lot.
yeah,
Social
a lot.
media was created by our generation, and it
Hmm.
has since transformed and has changed
100%.
our lives like
Hmm.
way faster than
Hmm.
anybody really can understand. And like psychologists, we are scrambling, because
Hmm.
people are also, the problem is, right, we're changing at such a speed that like our evolutionary brains can't
We're
actually
not
keep up.
we're not capable of like taking in all that information and implementing it in our lives. It's way too much. We're
It's
not
so
really, we're
overwhelming.
not, no, no.
It's so overwhelming. You know
Yeah.
what, the thing that is stopping people the most from succeeding is that they
Yeah.
know so much. They
Hmm.
want, like, even for myself, right?
Yeah.
We want to execute it at the corporate level,
Oh
because
yeah.
we're sitting here like, and this, I can speak for myself going through my
Hmm.
classes. I know
Hmm.
how to structure a multi-million dollar organization, right? Because
Okay.
that's what they
Okay.
teach you in school.
Hmm.
And so you're looking, what I'm studying is Tesla and Facebook and, X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
So anyone who's smart and pays
Hmm.
attention to my trajectory, you know
Hmm.
that that's what I'm building off of, because that's the models that I understand.
Okay.
But imagine how difficult it is to start because I know those organizations from a finished product, where like I've been breaking them down to
From
understand
like,
them.
so you're going from like the end product towards like kind of like, yeah,
The
okay.
beginning. So
Yeah.
now I have to rewire my brain to be like, actually, you just have to start anywhere.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter where you start, because you can funnel into anything, right?
Yeah.
So like
100%.
the thing is that we have all those limiting beliefs. So
Oh,
unless
yeah.
you break out of that, and unless
Mm-hmm.
you just get the guts to start, because
Yeah.
what we really have a problem with is the
Yeah.
self-esteem issue. So that's why
100%.
I was glad you started with confidence, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing you need to get anything done in this damn
That's
country.
it.
That's
I
it.
mean, if you don't have that, no matter how idealistic you are, how much you envision and you dream and you got whatever boards, dream, whatever it's called, it just is not going to look. When we finish, I mean, like unis or colleges, whatever we go, the education system is not really like action oriented. It does make you a critical thinker, and I think we generally
we
need that.
overthink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my God, we overthink.
We
But
overthink
I do
everything.
think critical thinking is extremely crucial, because otherwise we're just like, we'll just like stick to our biases and go at each other's necks. So it is good to have critical thinking, but that's it's not there's a technical skill and there's a soft skill. Soft skill is basically you gotta have tangible skills that are going to help you do things, take actions. Of course, we said already, confidence is the foundation, but you also need like technical skills and soft skills. Soft skills in this case would be like confidence, public speaking, being able to create a good networking, all of those things that people don't really
time
think.
management.
Time management is extremely crucial. Like, I mean, we are given such a, if you know how to manage your time, you're set, really. That, and if you know how to plan, I think that was one of my favorite shows you've had, was like talking about how to plan and execute. I was like, I fell in love that time, because I was like, dang, this girl knows what she's talking about.
Maybe
But
I
if
need
you
to do
can,
another class on that.
I think it's much needed, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm
Because
gonna think about
time,
it. I'm gonna ruminate on that.
time management, because that's the one asset that, and I'm calling it an asset because that's the one asset we all got, whether you're from here, from there, you got this skin tone, whether that's the one thing that God or anybody did not discriminate about it, they gave it, like we have it. So we got to learn to utilize it, and that will give us an advantage no matter who we are.
Yeah, and I think y'all got to pay attention to this, because here's the gem that you're not telling them about time. Like, but you said it, but let me make it clear for them. You said it, they might not have caught it actually. Time. So I saw like a quote. There's two things that somehow we have all as human beings agreed upon, right? It's this concept of time. We all operate on the same clock. And then it's this concept of money. This idea of how we trade with each other, right? Almost everything else is remixed. Like, depending on what country you go to, it's remixed. But time, somehow we agreed that 24 hours is just going to be the standard. You know what I mean? Like, there are very few things that human beings can agree on, and if time is one of them, then you should understand it's important. Like, like,
crucial.
You gotta get that together. And like, it's something I was just joking with a friend today, because we were planning happy hour, right? And she's like, do you want me to send you a calendar invite? And I was just like, actually, yes. Like, because the way my calendar is set up is
important.
I got a time block. Time block, and I have to have my goals for the day, and I need to remember who I'm supposed to communicate with. Like, I have finally accepted that, no, as good as your brain is, you should just write it down, sis. Like, why waste the mental energy? Let me, you know what I'm saying? Why waste the mental energy of having to remember? Write it down and forget about it. Your reminder will tell you later. Like,
I love
so
technology.
That you don't. Oh, I love Siri. I love me some Siri. Siri, can you take it? Right? I'd be like, Siri, can you take this note? Hey, Siri, can you remind me to call so-and-so? Siri, can you do this? When people ask me, how do you manage all these relationships? Because I know so many people. So what you mean?
Yeah.
You think I just remember? No, I don't just remember. I have a clock on my my phone.
Yeah.
I got a calendar. I have
Mm-hmm.
reminders. And
Mm-hmm.
thankfully, some of y'all are smart enough to call me because you know that
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget. So
Mm-hmm.
it really is the one life hack I tell people.
It is.
Get you a planner.
Get your planner. Let me just say hi to everybody in here. Hey guys, I see you. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
Your Arab sister
Yeah,
was
I see my Euro fam.
yes,
Hey,
they are in here.
Mr. Tribe Haggers. I saw Fortuna. Hey, Sissy. Oh my God. I see you
Yes.
guys.
It's
All right.
tribe in here. They said
Yeah.
earlier too, because I thank you for reminding me. I think Beth said earlier something that we should take away, Gem. What we're saying is your only limit is the one you set for yourself. And
Oh.
if you
Whew.
don't if you don't set better limits for yourself, if you don't manage your time will manage you. Your
Oh,
days will disappear. You will be
girl.
like, oh, how did a whole year go by? And I ain't done
Girl.
shit. I didn't do damn thing. What did I do? And then you
What did
go
I
back,
do?
like, look at your bank statement one time. Let it tell you what you did. Go look at your Instagram stories. Let it
Mm-hmm.
remind you, what did you accomplish? What did you do? And not even accomplish, like, on a success level, right? Because I think success is what you define for yourself.
Define,
But
yeah, however you put it, yeah.
what did you do? What did you do even for yourself? Was there a goal you had set for yourself
Yeah.
that you accomplished? And that's really what I mean. And a lot of people, they don't value that. So 5 years from now, they're gonna be looking at us. You mad at me because I've been
Yeah.
steadily growing and
Yeah.
you over here at the same position. Because you've been
Yeah.
talking and I've been moving. It's two
Yeah.
different things.
I think, change requires a lot of effort. And I think if you can kind of work on changes that are going to help you manage your time. And when people say manage your time, how does it look like? I truly think, like, if you can win your mornings, mornings
Mm.
are secret to me. I don't care what people say. Mornings are
No,
the
they
most
are.
secret time of the day. You need to, like, do whatever makes you happy in the morning. And when I say morning, I try to get up early. I mean, this is not for everybody. Some people work late, some people, but if you want to embark on, like, that time management, like, I want to get the best out of my day, type of, like, routine. It's a routine. Everything is a routine,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got to have a routine. And so wake up early, do whatever makes you happy, whether that's running, whether that's, like, just giving yourself some time to pray if you pray, or meditate if you meditate. Just
Mm-hmm.
work. If you can control your morning, you're set. Like, when I can't believe I'm gonna say this now. When I worked in the corporate world or whatever, mostly non-profits, but
Yeah.
I would go to work because, I don't know if you know my daily routine. I do wake up. I used to wake up at 4:30, and I'm like, well, I'm too hard on myself. I'll do it 5. So I wake up at 5 every morning, 5 a.m. And I have the whole morning to,
You
like,
gave
my kids.
yourself 30 minutes, sis.
I did. I was like, I deserve this.
I love
Anyways,
it.
I
Okay, good.
got, because at that time, like, literally between 5, okay, 6, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got 3. Most people, let's say, wake up around 8. You got 3 hours. You can do anything you want. You can read a book, which I love reading in the morning. Our brain is the most receptive in the morning.
Oh, I'm taking mental notes right now.
You
Go ahead.
better.
Yeah.
It's the most receptive in the morning. Whatever you want to learn, just make sure you're doing that, and don't stress yourself too much. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Break your, those 3 hours or whatever you have before you go to work. And when I go to work, I show up like, oh my God. I'm just, like, so excited. I'm like, good morning. It's
You're
Monday
one of those
morning.
people. Oh my God. Of course
And
you
people
are.
like,
We're mad. We're mad because we didn't have all that. We want our coffee, and you over here just like, we like, sis, hold on, I didn't have my cup yet.
That's how we
That's
met,
me.
wasn't it?
That's
How we
me.
met.
Yeah, that's me. I'm always bunna. That's exactly what I said. I said, sis, you do what? And you said, oh yeah, I run. I said, you run? Okay.
In the mornings, like, I'll definitely do my runs. Nowadays, of course, I gotta study, and then, of course, there's routines change. It's okay. It's part of the change. It's so, but you should get up in the morning. You should have that cup of coffee if you do live in a nice weather outside. you know, like just enjoy the nature, because I think sometimes we're so disconnected from nature that we barely know
Hmm.
where our food is coming from, or you know, like how to even be ourselves outside of the house. I think it's really good for us to get that air and other things. But
You see,
my
I'm
point be,
outside.
eh,
I work outside. This
I
is where
love
I work
outside.
all day long, and then I come and do the show, and then I go on my walk. I'm
I
literally
love
like
it.
outside, but I mean, I also have a nice backyard, but
Yeah.
outside all day long. Because you know, when the snow comes,
Yeah,
it's
that's
so miserable. So I
oh
have to take all the advantage of being outside. Because you know, there's such a thing as seasonal depression, just in case.
oh, I
Yeah.
go through it. If there's anything that resembles depression, it comes in winter, and I'm about not to let that happen. I make sure I work out. I make sure, you know, like I'm doing things that kind of bring joy, because you know, like your life is so short. You should not
Hmm.
let like things like an environment or just a weather like just suck the life out of you. You should just acknowledge, like the way I do it, I acknowledge it. Okay, I'm just not meant to live. I'm from Irob. Irob is the hottest place on earth, one of the hottest. It's like it's not
Oh,
like
sis.
Afar, but it's pretty. I am not designed for a what, like there's no ounce of like my evolutionary like genetic makeup that says you should live in an environment like that. But you know what? I do, and that tells you we're very, very adaptive beings. Because
Hmm.
sometimes I'm like, how do I survive in an environment like that? But we're humans are
You
very
get used to
adaptive.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
stay inside. I stay inside. I do a lot of but that's also why all the holidays are in the winter. If y'all notice, all the
that's true.
holidays are in the winter so that you have something to look forward to deal with all the depressing ass
Oh
weather.
yeah, that's
Like
smart.
I think about culture, you know, and I think about how do these traditions get made? Because what's the
Yeah,
point? And the
yeah,
things that work last. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like the things
yeah,
that really work last. Like you try to
100%.
fight somebody to take their holidays away, they go
They're
crazy. They
fun.
will literally go crazy. So
Yeah.
the holidays really are important. And so I literally, this is corny as hell, but y'all could just know this about me. As soon as it starts to get cold here, Hallmark starts playing all the winter holiday movies. And when I tell you, I will keep that on all day long. And I will be like working, and I'll have my cup of coffee, my hot cocoa, my something tea. Like I'm always having like a little treat just to trick me, because
Yeah,
you be waking up and you look outside and you just like, okay,
yeah. Oh,
this ain't it. So
yeah,
that's really just mindset. If you know it's coming, you
yeah.
know the season is coming, you know it's
Mhm,
gonna be trash. You
mhm.
gotta give yourself things to look forward to. So like in the
Definitely.
winter, I got a
Mhm.
ukulele. I'm about to be practicing that shit.
Ukulele? Are you? Oh my gosh.
I know, I
Yeah.
know.
You got
I
you.
like
You gotta do whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, I had to think about what
Ukulele.
were the things in my childhood that I really appreciated, you know, that
Right.
I really
Yeah.
wanted, and that's what I'm doing. Oh, did
That's
my cousin?
awesome.
I think my cousin just brought me food. I'm actually hella. Is that for me? Oh, I'm so excited. My cousin just brought me dessert, y'all. My night just got like
Yes.
10 times better.
The best
So,
cousin in the world. You deserve
oh
it. I
yeah.
got it.
Listen, I'm so
I'm just
excited.
listening. I'm just yeah. While you enjoy your food or looking at it, I'm
Oh
listening.
no. No, don't worry about it. I'm looking at it. I'm trying not to, but you want to show the people? My guy Roby, he's trying to interview he's trying to interrupt the interview. This is my background producer, Robel, and my
Hey,
little cousin.
Rebel. Oh, you're such a good cousin. I love that.
Crumble
That looks
cookies. Isn't that beautiful? Go ahead. He about to open it up
yes.
for you.
Oh my God. Why you gotta
Wow.
do
Wait a
this to
minute.
us?
Wow.
Oh
Wait a
my.
minute. Okay. He said, I got you cookies. Okay, listen. Get you a Roby in your life. Okay? Get you a
That is the
freaking
best.
Roby in your life. I be trying to tell people. It's crazy, but no, literally, this is, you know, he's the reason. Like, these are the conversations I used to have with him. And he's like, Rutai, you need a show because people just don't know this stuff. Like, you be putting
Yeah.
me on so much game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, okay, he said real recognize real. I taught you that too.
I was gonna say that earlier. I was literally gonna say that earlier.
Yes.
When I heard you speak the first time on Uprooted, I really thought like this is amazing because
Oh.
I think our community right now, like Tigrayan community, we're going through so much that we can sometimes forget. We can sometimes forget ourselves because it's just
Mhm.
like the emotion that we're feeling is so heavy, and but unless we are well, unless we have our goals and our intentions and our desires in intact, and we're looking after ourselves and our goals and our aspirations,
Mhm.
we're not going to be a very effective in our advocacy. We're not gonna, you can't, it's what Oprah says, you really can't pour from an empty cup.
Amen.
And like, I think shows like yours really kind of like make us become a bit conscious about
Mhm.
our unconscious actions and our conscious and unconscious thoughts, and so it's good to like be an observer sometimes,
Yeah.
and that's very hard when you're emotionally involved, and when your family are literally going through a genocide. But
Yeah.
sometimes we need to step out and say, what am I doing for my well-being? Am I in alignment with my goals? And all of those things really need to be considered, and I think this show brings that aspect of the missing piece, so it
Mhm.
is good. Yeah.
Thank you. That was really
Yeah.
nicely said. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is great. Did you
Yeah.
notice? I always tell people this. You did so well because we're already at the end of the
Oh, are
hour.
we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that crazy? It just goes
Really?
by.
That is so crazy.
It literally just floats right by. And I be telling people all the time, like, I promise you, it's really, once you get on, whatever nervousness you might have before the camera
Right.
turns on, it
Yeah.
goes away because you're just having a normal conversation with somebody. But I have two things I want to ask you. You already know what the last question is because you watched the show. But before that, I wanted to add a new question, which is, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, that's a good, um, that's a really good question. I think what I would tell myself is that everything that's happening to you is not really happening to you. It's actually happening for you.
Mm,
Because when I was young, there were just so many times I felt like, but why? Like, but why me? But why
mm-hmm.
does this have to happen? And now I know that there was a purpose to it. Like, it makes you a better person. It makes you have empathy towards
Mm,
others. It makes you grow. It makes you kind of want to have purpose in life. It
yeah.
makes you want to kind of meet that better version of yourself. And it makes you think that we are literally on this cosmic journey, all of us. We're here to meet, to greet, to love, and to share. And when once a while Murphy's Law or whatever happens and shitty things happen to you, it's just really happening for you. So yeah.
That's amazing advice. I love that. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. And then let's take that into, oh yeah, Beth said yes. Like she loves that too.
Hey, Bess.
I love that for you, man. That's beautiful advice. And then what would you say you want your legacy to be to close us out?
My legacy. Well, girl, you asked this on the
You,
show.
yeah, girl, that's always it's the last question. What you mean? We gotta plant these
I,
seeds early.
um, you know, I think I would like to be remembered as somebody who, first of all, was kind to others. Like, I did no harm. And then with
Mm,
the time and resources and access that I had, I actually positively impacted people's lives. Whether that's just putting that smile on somebody's face, whether that's getting them that beautiful dream house, whether that's, just being a good mom that did do her best. I don't have huge ambitions besides just I want to do good to people in terms of just like making them feel good about themselves
mm,
and basically doing no harm. But as I do that, if I can accomplish greater things like having a bigger impact in a community or society or whatever, then, and that's just a bonus. But I just want to be kind to people. And I don't know if that's necessarily a legacy, but I would like that to be my legacy. Yeah.
That's beautiful. First of all, it is definitely a legacy. And I want to affirm you and validate you in that, because I think it's a big legacy and it's a big task and a big order, because it's so much easier to be mean and it's so much easier to hurt other people considering how much we've been through. So for you to actually, one, do your own healing, do your own work so that you can show up and actually be that kind person, I think that's an amazing thing, not only to aspire to, but that I see you actively doing regularly. Like you put a smile on my face, so I'm like, you know, that you have my narrative, you know. And I see, of course, Instagram doesn't show you, social media isn't going to show you everything, but the fact that you're even being intentional to do it for yourself, and then you're doing it for your daughter, that's going to put us 7 generations forward. Right? Like if we could all just raise some kind children, we literally will change the world. And that starts with just one person internally. So you doing this work, transferring that to your daughter, and doing your advocacy for your community and your larger community, right? Like you're doing it for Irob, but also Tigray and just people in general. What do you mean, sis? You already there. You are already there. We want to just support you getting to the next level and the next level, because when there's people like you who exist, who walk in this confidence and this glow, like we need you to be a role model to at least 5 more younger girls, you know what I mean? Just so that we can start to change that trajectory, and whatever I can do to help you scale that, to like grow that, you know, I'm here for you. I want you to build and grow. And y'all, she said it a little earlier. She's almost there. She's getting her real estate license. Okay. So she's going to be selling houses, and we need to help her market, and we need to let Canada know. You feel me? We got a new real estate agent coming soon. All the Habeshas, y'all better go ahead and follow her to make sure you put her into some connects with people who are looking for housing. If y'all are looking for housing, you're not there yet, but you're thinking about being there, like just start that networking relationship now, because the home buying process can be long. So
it's very long.
You know, just know our sister's out here. She's doing the good work, and we appreciate you and we love you, and you are amazing and dope. And this was such a great interview. I hope y'all really picked up these gems, because you was dropping gems today. Okay. It was so beautiful. So
thank you
beautiful.
so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your existence. I appreciate your train of thoughts. I just appreciate that you're a conscious being that actually wants to make an impact as well. So thank you for what you do as well.
Of course. You know, let me just accept it. The pleasure is really mine.
Please.
I really accept that, and it's so nice to like have people recognize that. So thank you for saying that. This has been Black Women Wednesday, y'all. Listen, this was great. And tomorrow, y'all, Weyni, you got to come back to Clubhouse, because I will be doing Clubhouse conversations again. We're starting this month. So tomorrow, we will be on Clubhouse. I think I said 5 p.m. PST. Don't worry, the flyer is about to come out. I'm about to drop this tonight. We're going to be in Clubhouse tomorrow, continuing the conversation on unpacking overcoming hate, on our journey to forgiveness, on our journey of healing. We just trying to get people the resources and tools. We're not saying you ready right now, but we want you to be ready when the time comes, you know? And, you know, I just like to give people some free game. So we going to do that tomorrow on Clubhouse. And then we right back at it next week on a regular schedule. So
you got this.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but sis, we doing it, y'all. Oh, also before I forget, I'm everywhere now, y'all. YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you're going. Please subscribe. The least you can do is subscribe. Okay, the least you can do is subscribe, follow, like, put a comment on there. That's the least level you could do to support me and my team. And I just set up a donation link. So if you feel so inclined to donate, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I feel like if I got 100 friends who could put in $100,
Yeah.
that like that will be startup capital to really like build this thing out. So y'all do me a favor. If you're not following, go follow. Go look at the link tree. If you're not following Weyni, go follow her. Okay, her trajectory is gonna be far. I got an eye for talent, so just make sure you following her if you're interested at all in any of the things she talked about. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look
Thank
at them.
you.
Oh, edit.
Thank you.
Eat of the
Oh,
foodie. She said,
Ellen
just
the foodie.
yeah. She
Hi,
said, just want to say y'all are beautiful, sis. You are too. We love you. Thank you so much, y'all. I'm excited. So happy Wednesday, everybody. We gonna see you tomorrow on Clubhouse. Bye, y'all.